a feature that I put on the end of my bills on the nail. It's more of a decorative thing. I kind of like getting a nice prominent nail that looks good, but it also helps protect the tip of the bill, especially when I go to places like Game Fair where I'm hauling stuff in and out. I always seem to get wear marks on the nail, and this just protects it. And if you put too much detail on it, they're real easy to break on the bottom. So I just found a way, and I can't remember where I even saw this or where it came from. I think I saw it in a book or a magazine, but I just put a dab of epoxy cement on there, and it dries just rock hard and provides pretty good protection. So, and it's pretty simple to do. My glue's a little stiff here. Now, I always use a milk carton plastic for mixing the stuff that makes it nice and easy to work with.
Where do you get that epoxy at?
Just about anywhere, any hobby store. I get it, Hobby Lobby carries it. That hobby shop in Richfield, can't remember the name of it, but
And Hub?
yeah, Hub Hobby.
Well, any two-part epoxy basically would, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Anything that you mix together that's pretty fluid. This is kind of nice because it's thick and gooey normally before it takes up, and it flows real nice once you put it on. You can just see it just slowly kind of flatten out. And this, by the way, is an example of what I'm doing. If oops, if you want to pass that around and see it, it's even hard to see once it's dried on there. It's so clear. And I just put a pencil line there to get the exact shape of the nail that I want.
So Frank, you're not trying to oversize it, then file it down, you're just trying to get the exact size?
Yeah, I try to get as realistic as I can. And with this, with a toothpick, you can move it around pretty accurately. You can just see where the line is going.
Do you have any lines carved in there prior to, or is it just a pencil?
I don't. I tried carving in a little channel around, and I always get sloppy with it. It just never seems to work out. So I need good light to be able to see exactly where I'm moving this.
Was that epoxy kind of self-leveling for you then, is that it?
Well, it's fluid enough that it
Before it
does,
sets up, huh?
once you get the boundaries of where you want to put it, then, see, I've got the shape of it pretty good. Then as you look at it, you can see the nice curvature, and if it's a little too thin, it'll start to run a little bit more, and then I can, kind of do this back and forth to get it right, or I can let it kind of form a little bubble down here on the tip, and then when it's dry, you can go in with a grinder and shape it the way you want it. But the key is just with your toothpick, just be real gentle and just get the boundaries of where you want. And it's real kind of easy to move, but you need to be able to see what you're doing and know where your boundary is. Because most nails aren't a real big blobby thing. Many of them are very skinny actually. So you want to get the shape of it right. And this is flowing pretty good. Sometimes it gets a little lopsided, so they can kind of turn it, and you can see it move. And then this is 5-minute epoxy, so it doesn't take too long to get firm enough that it'll just firm up enough where you don't have to do anything else. Getting a little lopsided there.
Right now, are you trying to get it to come back over so that it is kind of the nail on the bottom, or do you build that out later?
I like it, I kind of like it when it goes over and I don't know if you can see it straight on. Actually, I can pass that around, just try not to touch the glue itself. But you can see it forms a little blob on the bottom. And then also what I do is once it is dry, I'll go in with a tiny little diamond ball, and you can go underneath the bill and grind off whatever excess is in there. And I kind of like to form a sharp little edge on the bottom of it. I don't know why. I don't think that's really realistic even. I think they're pretty rounded in an actual bill. But once you get it's the top shape that I'm kind of concerned about. I just want to get a nice round part. And then the bottom down here, I can grind, to fine tune it and get the right profile. But that's about all I do for the bill. Sometimes I'll put this on the whole end of the bill. This is just cyanocrylate super glue, and it's the thin consistency, so it's like water. And on the bare wood, you can just soak the wood with this. Maybe especially on this, it's kind of an open bill, you can do the bottom part of the bill also. And it just hardens and makes the wood a little more resistant to dents and dings and wear and tear.
There you go.
That's the one that he
Oh,
comes around.
okay. Well, that's what we
Did
had.
you see that?
Yep. Is there anything, so I've never painted over, the two-part epoxy like that. I mean, is there any, just
Once it
treat it like
hardens-
everything else once it's dry?
Yeah, and I let it, you'd want to let it dry, a day or two.
Oh, yeah.
Because they can be pretty soft, even after it's hardened. You can take your fingernail and make a mark in it. So I just let it dry for a good long time and then just gesso over it and paint.
Good to go.
And it works pretty good. One other issue, or use for this is those of you who've been around for a long time might remember Scott Clinton's demonstration. This is about 15 years ago or so, but he did a demonstration on fish pins. I know Rich was there.
Yeah.
And I love that demonstration. That was one of the coolest ones we've had ever, I think.
Should we get it back to do it?
So I did many fish pins, and these are some of the ones that I never really finished. But on these, I would kind of do the same thing. I would take epoxy cement, and I think I actually used 30-minute epoxy on this. But I would do the same thing, take a toothpick and just cover the entire thing with the epoxy. And I'd have a nail epoxy to the bottom of it so I could hold it. And I would just cover the entire thing with epoxy, and then you just kind of twist it around to get it to flow properly and evenly. And but those make a nice hard surface, and you can pass those around too. And they really make the colors pop out too. So I made those for several people, and they all just loved them. They just thought those were the coolest. And
I still make a few of those.
I haven't for a long time. I
was gonna say, I make a few of those yet. And usually.
Oh, you have, okay.
Yeah. And every time I go to Alexandria, that's the first thing the little kids want.
Yeah, oh yeah. The problem is people wanted to buy them from me for $5, and I said, no, I need more than that. I tried to sell them, I think, at Game Fair for 30, and I couldn't sell them. So,
$10 probably you get, wouldn't you? I think you get $10 pretty easy, but 30, I don't know.
maybe, but they take more time than $10.
There's more effort to it than a guy thinks.
Yeah. But they make wonderful gifts, and
You're not doing that to make money though, are you?
no, never.
So do you put the epoxy over, or you paint it first?
I paint it, and the epoxy doesn't affect the paint at all. some varnishes or lacquers will melt the paint, but this epoxy doesn't affect it at all.
It's almost like it's a glass over it, basically.
Yeah, it's a good, hard, durable surface, and if anyone's interested, that video of Scott's presentation is on the website. So if you go into the vintage channel, it's on there. It's only if you remember. Yeah.
There'll be a
But it's a wonderful demonstration. So.